So I recently got my Australian PR as a copywriter, but now when I tell people that I got my permanent residency as a writer, they don't believe me. They're like, wait a minute, is that even possible? How did you do that? Stick around, because in this video today, I'm going to break down exactly how I did it and tell you my life-changing PR story. But before I begin, let me tell you, I'm giving away $100 to one of my random followers every month. I started last month and over 1,000 people applied and one of them got lucky. So if you too want to win $100 every month, then all you have to do is subscribe to my channel first and then head over to my Instagram and apply with your real name and email address. Yep, that's what you got to do. Plus, I have a special message for you at the end of this video, so stick around till the end. Now let's get back to the video. Most people, when applying for their PR in Australia, don't even think to apply as a writer. It's a path rarely taken, but you know what? That's exactly why it worked. While everyone else around me was going for, typical occupations, I found a niche that literally nobody was exploring. And that's what made all the difference. It wasn't easy, but by choosing a less crowded path, I was able to, stand out in a way that others couldn't. Now, if you're someone who's feeling stuck in your PR journey, unsure of your next move, or struggling with the idea that your options are limited, then this video, my friend, is just for you. Because if I could navigate this unconventional path and make it work for myself, then I'm sure you can do it too. But how? You must be thinking, right? Well, first things first, there are a lot of different pathways to getting PR in Australia. I'm telling you, a lot. But I'm sure you haven't explored them all, right? Trust me, I've been there where you are right now. I came to Australia in 2019 to do my master's in linguistics at Western Sydney University. No technical skills, no fancy STEM degree, just me and my passion for language. And to be honest, I had no idea what I would do with it. My occupation wasn't even on the skilled migration list, which means getting PR after graduating was out of question. Most of my friends, relatives, and other people that I knew thought I was nuts for sticking to it. But I didn't change course. I kept pushing forward, hoping that somehow, someday, things would work out. But guess what? Nothing happened. Forget about PR, I couldn't even land a job in my field. It was mid-2021 and I was done with my master's. My student visa had expired and had to apply for temporary residency or a TR visa, which gave me another 2 years in Australia. This visa let me work full-time, so I continued at the same job where I had been working 20 hours as a student. It was definitely not the dream job I imagined when I first came here. I was hustling day in and day out, just trying to make ends meet. On the other hand, most of my friends were already planning out their PR strategies. To find better opportunities, a lot of them moved across states while others jumped straight into new courses. But me, I was crazy stubborn. I was definitely not going to study something I had zero interest in, and I sure as hell didn't want to leave Sydney. Because even if I moved, I'd still have to take up another course because my linguistics degree had no PR prospects. So I thought, fuck it. Whatever happens, happens. I decided to stay in Sydney and keep working until my visa expired. Life was just passing by, but then one day at work, a friend of mine who was knee-deep into her own PR journey opened my eyes. She looked right into my eyes and said, "What the hell are you doing with your life? There's so many options out there. Why don't you explore them or at least get some expert advice?" And she was right. I was foolish to rely solely on my course to get PR. So I went home, did some research, and discovered this ANZSCO code 2124, which includes multiple professions eligible for PR under visa subclass 190. Well, it's actually a classification that covers a bunch of professions I'd never even considered before. Like, copywriters, editors, journalists, technical writers, you name it. And suddenly, it hit me. Maybe I didn't need to rely on my course after all. Maybe there was another way to make this work. But wait a minute. What makes me eligible to apply under this code? And is it all that simple? Well, to be honest, it's not. But I had a plan in mind to give it a shot. Well, did I mention that I'd been doing content writing for a while? Well, yeah. Before coming to Australia, I worked as a technical content writer in an IT company. Plus, I was freelancing here and there, running websites and blogs on the side the whole time. Which when I realized, gave me some hope. Maybe, just maybe, I could apply under one of these occupations and make it work. I went ahead and did some more research and found out that all I would need is a positive skills assessment from VetAssess to apply under one of these occupations. Now, for those of you who don't know, Vertices is an assessment authority that evaluates your qualifications and work experience to see if they meet Australian standards for skilled migration. Well, basically, they determine if you're actually qualified to work in the profession you're applying under, which means all I needed was a positive skills assessment. I was starting to be hopeful. And in all this excitement, I rushed into applying for the skills assessment without even seeking expert advice first. And that is where I messed up real bad. I waited 12 long weeks, anxiously checking my inbox, only to see that one dreaded email sometime around mid-2022. My skills assessment had a negative outcome. Yep, I got rejected. In that moment, it felt like everything I had worked so hard for just slipped away. I was crushed, frustrated, and hopeless. My dream of getting PR seemed further out of reach than ever before. I was so frustrated that I couldn't keep working at the job with those odd shifts, so I threw myself totally into content creation. In the back of my mind, I thought, if I can make enough money online, maybe I don't need PR after all. Maybe I can just go back home and be satisfied with what I already have. But just when I was starting to settle into this new plan, something unexpected happened. One day, out of the blue, I got a phone call that changed everything. It was this guy who I used to work with. Maybe he was drunk or something, I don't know. I was feeling really low that night, but he ended up inspiring me. He knew I'd been making decent money online, doing content work here and there. So he was like, come on, bro, you're so young and smart. Why are you so down on yourself? I know you can figure something out. These were his literal words. He might have been tipsy, but his words hit me really hard. He made me realize that I shouldn't give up. The next day, I woke up with a new sense of purpose and decided to give my skills assessment another shot. This time, though, I didn't go in blind. I took expert advice, met with people who knew what they were doing, and got their input on my case. They pointed out where I was wrong the first time. Apparently, I hadn't shown enough evidence of my work experience or income the first time. To pass the Vertices skills assessment, you gotta prove you've been working in your profession for at least a year and actually earning from it. And in my case, that meant proving I was making money as a writer. The first time around, I didn't do that, so I got rejected. But now, I knew better. I didn't have a traditional job, but I had an ABN, an Australian business number, and I was freelancing, writing for clients, running websites, and earning a steady income online. The money was coming straight into my bank account, which meant I could show the legit proof of my income. And that was a game changer. Even though I was self-employed, I could prove that I was actively working in my profession. So I put together a solid application with all the paperwork to back up my case. And guess what? This time, I got a positive outcome. My skills assessment was approved, and I was over the moon. But just when I thought things were finally on track, another challenge popped up. The rules completely changed. The New South Wales government tightened its PR regulations, and suddenly getting PR from Sydney wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. Everyone around me was panicking. People were crossing state lines just to increase their chances of getting PR. I was stuck, totally. After all the struggle, time, and money I'd poured into this, now I was being told that I might have to move to another state. But honestly, I was done. I thought, fuck it. I am staying in Sydney no matter what. I said to myself, if my EOI is approved, it's approved, great. If not, I'll just deal with it when the time comes. So I stayed put and waited and waited and waited. Months passed, but I didn't give up hope. And then one day, out of nowhere, I got the email I'd been waiting for. A 190 invitation for PR. I was ecstatic. But even then, the journey wasn't over. I still had to go through the documentation process, submit everything to the Department of Home Affairs, and then do more waiting. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and almost a year. It felt like an eternity. But finally, after all that waiting, I got the news I'd been dreaming of. My PR was granted, and I was officially a permanent resident of Australia as a copywriter. So this is my story. Call me crazy, but I really believe that what I was seeking was seeking me too. And I've also, started believing in the power of the universe and positivity. You will get what you deserve in life, for sure. If you're skilled enough, you will find your place anywhere in the world. Because the world needs you, and I tell you that. Whether you're a writer, a graphic designer, a developer, an artist, or whatever, if you're determined and strategic, you can create your own opportunity today in this digital world. You don't have to rely on that 9-to-5 job. And I'm a living proof that the conventional path isn't the only path. The key is to find where your unique strengths meet an opportunity that others overlook. For me, that was copywriting. For you, it could be something entirely different. The point is, don't be afraid to explore the paths that others ignore. And don't settle for the conventional if it doesn't fit who you are. So if you're ready to think outside the box and carve your own path, it's time to take the first step. And for that, you can click the link in the description below and join my email list for now. I promise you, by the end of this year, we're going to build a community of winners. So stay tuned. I'll be coming up with a lot of new videos, tutorials on how to make money online doing something you'll love. Please leave a thumbs up if you like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.